Good morning. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing today? I'm the Moon Mama, and today is the day governed by Jupiter. Jupiter is currently in Capricorn, and Jupiter and Capricorn, or anything in Capricorn right now, is like the cleanup crew or the destroyers. Capricorn is the constellation that governs our systems, our external systems, the things that help us keep our lives in place, the things that we're doing externally to create order and build and expand and all that sort of stuff. That's all Capricorn. So our systems are like our education system, our healthcare system, our political system, the systems that run our country, because Capricorn is the government, but it's also personal authority. So the systems that run your life, like how do you run your life? How do you run your family? How do you run your home? These are all Capricorn in nature, and it's about authority. It's about the power and authority in your life. And so how does that function for you? That is, some of us give our power and authority to a deity, like a deified figure, like a Jesus or something like that. And then those of us, we give our power and authority to, someone who is our boss at work or our manager or something like that. That person has power and authority, and they create structures for us, and we have to meet them. And in religion it's the same way. It's like if you have to pray every day, and then those are structures that help you really govern your life. With Jupiter is the planet that is the largest planet in our solar system. It governs Sagittarius, and so there's this energy with Jupiter that is expansive, that is also lucky and blessed, and it also has a religious undertone to it. And when I say religious undertone, I mean like a religious practice that cultivates your faith, that cultivates your belief or your relationship to the unseen, is what I'll say. Yeah. It cultivates your relationship to the unseen. So it's, like for instance, for me, like I know that there's something greater than me, that I can feel it. I can feel the essence and the energy of the power of this universal experience. And I rely upon that. I meditate, I pray, I do sacred practices to harness and cultivate my connection to the divine. That is Jupiter. Jupiter is this divine energy that is the connection to God, that is the connection to our faith, our hopes, our blessings. And as Jupiter is in Capricorn, we are asking or being asked to have faith in the authority within us, because the authorities that are external are coming undone. The systems that are external are coming undone. So we're being brought back home to ourselves so that we can have faith within the systems that are within us. And what are the systems that are within us? They are the natural systems of the universe. The cycle of the moon, the cycle of the sun, the cycle of the seasons, the elements. Those are the systems that nature has placed in place so that we can then follow those systems, and those systems are within us also. Those are not man-made systems, those are nature systems. So those systems exist within us. For instance, the cycle of the moon exists within a woman. It is her reproductive system. So the moon and the womb are one thing. And if you follow that cycle, that system, you will be on a 28-day cycle of creation. And that is a nature cycle. And so as our man-made systems are coming undone, we have to then have faith to then align ourselves with natural cycles and systems so that we can be led and directed by something greater. And That's sort of like the religious or spiritual aspect of Jupiter. And so Jupiter in Capricorn is asking us to cultivate our faith so that we can create new systems and structures to build our lives. I know in my own personal life, this is really fucking rigorous. I just want to say it. I mean, I know you guys all know. First of all of you who come to get readings from me, I so appreciate it because my readings are practical. I'm a Virgo, and my readings are often like, you need to do this now. You need to do this now. It's not like a magic, like, oh, this is going to happen. It's like if you come to me and you want to know about love and relationship, I'm going to say, these are the things you need to do in order to open yourself up and prepare yourself, your consciousness, your heart to receive love or to experience love or to create love. Love, romantic love, because love is already there, but you have to generate it in a certain way. If you're coming to see me to, to learn about yourself, I will give you homework to go look at your family and see who they were and how you're being. So, I understand that we need to put new structures in place, and that is what I have been doing for the last decade of my life, just really looking at my family and where I come from and how these experiences have continued to impact me and how I can then free myself from old structures and systems from my family and also from what I've learned in the culture that can allow me to be sovereign. And so I have been extricating myself, unplugging myself through my belief systems, through what I believe. So I remember when I used to believe that a woman came from a man's rib because that's what I was taught in Christianity, and I really believed it. I really thought like, oh, women come from a man's rib. And so to me, that made us subservient. It meant that we weren't as powerful. And so I had to undo that belief system inside of myself. And I had to shift it with a true belief system. So I would go, okay, well, if women don't come from a man's rib, what is the creation process? Oh, everyone comes from a woman's womb. Oh, so that changes the way I see reality and experience it and experience myself. That changed how I felt about myself. And so that gave me another perspective to be out in the world. One of the things that I am really looking at and understanding is how I use my energy. And like I've been saying, I've been noticing that I have a structure in place where I use my energy to obsess and be overly focused on something that I don't have power in, really. And as I've been looking at that and seeing where it comes from and how I can redirect it, first of all, it's so incredibly painful to see. And just understanding as women how we aren't taught how our energy works and how internal it is. And so oftentimes as a woman, I have felt powerless in my life. I have felt like I can't actually access what I deeply desire. And so what I will do is create an internal reality of desire around the thing or the person that I want. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until it overwhelms and then it leaves me frustrated or depressed or sad because it's anchored in a scarcity thing. I think one of the greatest lessons I'm learning in this Aquarius full moon, because Aquarius is truly about self-ownership and sovereignty, is how we practice owning other people in our culture through marriage, with children, and our corporate experience. We practice like owning people's energy and siphoning people's energy, and it is really it's let me say that it's a hellish practice to do that because it keeps us imprisoned. It keeps us competing and looking for things outside of ourselves, and it keeps us out of our internal center, which is where we truly can create whatever we desire. And so this these new structures and these new ways of understanding ourselves require that we truly unplug from our old ways of being, and how we align our energy. Um, one of the things that I'm so aware of as women, we often want to find our happiness in institutions like marriage and partnership, and we haven't really empowered ourselves to do that in a way that really is beneficial to ourselves. And when I say that, what I mean is we don't know who we are, and we don't know that we are the center of the universe as women, because we have wombs and we create material reality, that we sell ourselves short. So we get into relationships where our needs are not really being truly met because we don't really know what our needs are. And we don't have the skill set or the courage often to say what it is that we really want. And as we do the work to get clear about what we really want, then we can partner in ways with people who are in alignment with us. And then we don't have to do so much suffering. And so as women, it's important to really understand our power and our sovereignty so that we can not misuse our energy. And the moon today is in Pisces, and Pisces is this very empathetic, collective energy. And right now we're seeing all of these changes happening on the planet. We're having weather things going on. We're having COVID, all of that collective experience. And so the question becomes, how can you, inside of in your own sphere, in your own psyche and your own bubble, bring forth something of value and benefit to the collective simply by your own understanding, right? So I'll just sit and hold love in my mind and in my heart, and then I'll envision that love energy in me like a ripple going out from myself into everyone around me, out around the globe, and to every being on the planet. Just truly knowing that everywhere is God, and everything is divine, and everything is love, and that there's nothing outside of the touch and the reach of God. COVID is a part of the divine goodness that is God. And we might say, how do we know that? It's because God is everything and everywhere. God is life and death. God is all of the things that the human experiences. So I do my best to not withhold any thought or any idea from God, because then I know that miracles can happen. And so I encourage you to know that. I ask myself, what is the benefit of this COVID experience? What can I learn from it so that I'm not resisting it or casting it off and running? So anything that comes to me, I'll ask, well, what's the benefit of this? How can it serve me? How can I learn from it? How can it support me in ways in my becoming? Anything, whatever happens, because I know that I am ultimately the creator of my reality. So anything that has come into my reality, I have co-created it with Source for me to learn and grow from. So that is how we can use the Piscean energy, and that is how we can use the Jupiter energy today. I encourage you to have faith in your ability to impact the collective by doing something good for yourself, by loving yourself, by knowing the truth of who you are, your value, your power. And as you know that, it impacts everything and everyone around you. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.